So hi guys, welcome to Ustream. If you're new to Ustream, the way to speak to me live is to call me through Skype, and my Skype address is LisaCairns12. LisaCairns12, all lowercase letters. And if you call or leave me a message, I will then call you back when I'm ready to take questions. If you want to meet me live, I will be in Berlin this coming weekend, Friday, Saturday and Sunday. And the weekend after that, I'll be in Oslo, Norway, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And then I think there's no talks for about 6 or 7 weeks. And then I do one in Belgium, Mosaic, and that's a retreat for 4 days. So you're more than welcome to come to those. And I do my Ustream sessions every Wednesday and Sunday, as long as I'm not traveling. So when I'm traveling, like on the Sunday, this coming weekend and the weekend after, I won't be doing talks. Otherwise, I do it every Wednesday and Sunday. Recently, somebody asked me what they could do for all these online talks I did, and I said I didn't have anything I wanted at that time, but some things popped up. I was thinking a Ferrari or some diamond rings, but also practically, I was thinking that one thing I would like is a lot of people always ask me to come on my retreats for free, and I can't afford to pay for somebody's hotel and somebody's food. I can let them away with my talks as long as there's not an organizer involved, but I can't then pay for them to be there. So if anybody has extra money and wants to donate to me, then I could hook them up with some of the people that write to me asking if they can come on my retreats for free or less money, and they could maybe help support them. So if you send me an email saying you want to support another person to go on one of my retreats, then I will put you in direct contact with them. That would be great. That's one thing that came to mind. And another thing, which I said last time, is if people are experienced dog walkers or dog sitters, then looking after Khaleesi would be great. But you've got to be very experienced because she's not a regular domesticated dog. She's a feral dog from the streets. So she needs a more firmer and experienced owner or carer. It's so funny. I bet you now I have hundreds of people writing to me saying, oh, yeah, I would like to come on your treat, but I can't afford it. Can you pair me up with someone? And then the people, the other side, the ones that are meant to be their payers, don't come. You're richer than you think. I meet so many rich people that believe they're poor. Easy, 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 easy. Easy is being incredibly cute. Okay, just let me do an introduction and then I will take some questions.
Yeah, nothing's happening. Yes, you're right. I'm watching the chat stream. Yes, Laurie said she's waiting for the introduction to come. That is true. Waiting, waiting.
All that, all there is what is. All that ever is what is. Nothing more, nothing less. And what is happening and not happening. It's real and unreal. And what is at this time is apparently experienced through a body-mind mechanism. Life is looked at from the perspective of a body, an apparent body. And it's experienced through the senses. And we call that us. That is who we are. Human says who we are is that body, the senses, what we think, what we feel, what the body's done, what it hasn't done. We are a soul and a separate entity that's inside the body. But actually, who we truly are is everything. This isn't a body looking. This isn't a body hearing. This isn't a body feeling. This is everything looking, everything feeling, everything hearing, everything thinking, everything expressing itself. It's unknowable why, but for some reason there is this energetic contraction which arises in the body at a young age and sucks in everything. Sucks in experiences, my action, my choice, my feelings, my thoughts, my ideas, and it makes it feel like somebody is actually having an experience. Somebody separate from everything is actually having an experience. For all other animals, that doesn't happen. There is simply what is happening, and it's not happening for anybody. It's boundless freedom. It's here and it's not here. It appears and it disappears. There is no one that holds on to anything. The holding comes with the illusion of separation, with the illusion of the separate person. And that person is like Velcro, always sticking onto things. Me, 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 me. And it suffers because it feels like it's done right things, wrong things, good things, bad things. It could have done different, it should have done different. It suffers because it believes it's alive and that it will die and that it's got to have a happy life and that people have wronged it or righted it. And it lives in this bizarre world of me and you, of opposites. The separate self lives in a world of opposites, where life isn't in opposites, life simply is and isn't. So then this illusionary person hears about non-duality or hears about Lisa's talks or listens to other people's talks and it thinks, yes, the problem has always been me. And how do I get to me? And it fails to see that the person that wants to get to the end of itself is that very person. Fails to see that all the seeking has only ever been a validation of that person, validation of an illusion, validation of something that never existed. It fails to see that wanting to get out of it is the perpetuation of it. So these talks are for no reason, nothing at all. These talks are coming from nothing. They have no destination. The sounds come out, the breeze is, the light is, and it isn't as well. And we're going nowhere. These talks have no idea about saving someone or helping someone. In fact, if somebody wants help or somebody wants a better life, there would be a recommendation of going to something else, not listening to this. And some people, well, it's not even them, but some have this resonance with it, this knowingness of this nothingness of everything, of this non-meaning of everything, this non-destination of everything. And they hear it, and it's known beyond the words what's being talked about. The truth of it, which there really is no truth, but the truth of it is known. That there is nothing to get and nowhere to go. This is it. This is the love affair. This is the heaven that humans spend their whole lives trying to get to. And some, for whatever reason, that's heard. But for some, it will try to be used as another escape tool. And that's perfect. That's as it is. So we can talk about this, but I have no destination. This is coming from nowhere and cares about getting nowhere. So it just comes up and speaking can happen. So our first one is Bill. Hey, Bill.
Oh.
Hey.
For some, it will try to be used as another escape tool. That's perfect. That's as it is. So we can talk about this, but I have no destination. This is coming from nowhere and cares about getting nowhere. So it just comes up. Speaking can happen. So our first one is Bill. Are you really there? Hey, Bill.
Yeah, I'm this voice though. That's Ustream that you're listening to.
Hey.
You got to turn the volume off Ustream.
I had to turn off the live. Just wanted to say hi. You sound like you're very serious. You also sound like you got a bit of a flu or bug or something.
Yeah, we just had a dramatic change
You were
in
coughing
season.
a lot.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hello?
Yeah, I got a cough.
Did I lose you? Hello, hello.
Hello. Okay, Bill's not got his Skype set up, so I'll move on to someone else till he's got it set up. Hey, Phyllis. Okay, no, Bridget. Hey, Petra. Hey, Johan. Hey, Bill. Hello, Bill.
Hello. Hey, Petra. Hey, Johan.
I'm this voice, Bill.
Guess Bill didn't get through. No.
Hey, Bill.
Bradley says, hey, so all this is it. Yes, this is it. Hey, Jessie. Hey, Jessie. You can hear me, Jessie?
Are we nice and connected?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Are we connected?
Oh, it's my Skype.
Hello?
Hello, it's me. Okay. If you guys don't know much about Skype, whenever it does that, you just need to open it and restart it. Sometimes you need to do a voice call, but it's often just had too much activity. Hey, Jesse.
Hi, Lisa.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Yeah, my Skype was just playing up.
Oh, cool. All right, there we go. Oh, we should be video, huh?
I don't mind video on or off. You can see me though, I think.
Yeah, there we go. All right. It's a beautiful introduction. God, these always render any questions a little silly. But we were watching the DVD about the moon program.
The lucky what, sorry?
The DVD about the Apollo moon program.
Yeah.
And pretty nice documentary. And then when we finished it, I happened to walk outside and look to take my dog for a walk. It was this beautiful, almost full moon out there, and so I enjoyed it. And then I started to think about the history, because I remember that. I'm old enough to remember that. And I'm thinking of the history of that, the history of me, and the history of the moon, which is a pretty long history. And it starts tripping me out again about this, about time in light of the non-dual teaching. And I was worried, is it just kind of like it's just, I don't know if you can even answer that, but is it just sort of like all laid out at once? If you see what's happening now, the memory and recording these writings of events, books, history, is that just all part of a singular tapestry of time that's only happening now?
Yeah.
Okay.
But scientists are looking at it like the way that they describe it is they describe it as like almost like it can't be like this, but they describe it as almost like a lump of something, like a rock. And time is there's something moving through the rock, and it's one solid item, but there's something moving through the rock, looking at it in a linear time perspective. But really, there's not linear time. Really, there's not anything that's happening, but you're moving through the rock as if you're looking through it at it through time. And they were saying like each segment of the rock is a different picture, like a film. So it gives the appearance that there's time happening, that there's movement happening, that something's actually happening, but actually nothing's happening. And that's a really rubbish explanation from a science perspective. But I was watching some programs on it recently, and even science coming to the conclusion that this isn't actually happening. And they're also saying that it's already happened, that it's already one thing, it's already one picture. But the experience of the human is looking at it through a linear timeline, going through it as if there is this past and future. But really, it's one solid item. Or it's not really solid. That's just the way they were describing it. It was very interesting, this documentary.
I think I remember you mentioning that. Yeah, that was fascinating. I think I remember you mentioning that. It was like a Dutch TV program that just looked right up saying,
Oh no, this was an American one actually. This was a different one, but it was Paul that showed it to me.
Okay.
Yeah. But the thing is we only look at time through the human perspective and see And we think it's a reality rather than just a functioning of the human experience.
Okay, I have one more question.
Yeah.
This, or any comment, but when I speak to you like this, when I speak to you, or if I rewatch these, can you hear me okay?
It's a little bit hard to hear you.
Okay, when I'm speaking to you like this, or if I rewatch your videos, or if I'm watching something where you're expounding on something, a singular subject, I mean, there's all that dialogue, and it's wonderful, and it's enlightening. But there's also this other thing happening that doesn't really feel like experience. It's like it's almost like God is crying out to another character, is willing to wake up, and me as the other character is saying, I want to wake up, and you say that you're already awake.
Yeah.
And this whole thing is just happening in your thing, and then everything just kind of disappears into a silence.
Yeah, but that's what I feel that these talks are really about, is a talk in silence as nothing. It's most people go to places and people are speaking as if there's something moving in time, whereas this is total stillness speaking, but it's not anything to do with Lisa, it's what is. This is stillness expressing itself, or emptiness expressing itself. And that's when the talks really begin to be heard, is when that it's not even understood, but when that resonates. And that's why I keep going on about the resonance. Like, it doesn't really matter what I say, it's more to do with that nothingness of it, the stillness of it, the vastness and emptiness. This is everything speaking, and everything is totally still and moving simultaneously. The person is totally focused in just the movement and just that it's happening. It's covered up that vastness, that beauty, that total acceptance of everything.
Yeah. Yes. Well, looking at those beautiful subjects, you have a list of movies that you recommend, or that you show at your retreats.
Yeah.
If Magnolia had ever made its way onto your.
Oh, Magnolia. Yeah, I like Magnolia. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is that one?
Yeah, that's one that I show people actually.
Okay, cool. And as a final note, so there's one that we just were watching. It's not a movie. It's an American series called True Detective.
Oh no, I've seen this one as well, and I really like that one. I would recommend that one to everyone as well. True Detective.
What in my mind is like, is that Matthew McConaughey's character is blurting out all these classic non-dual bullet points, and yet he's completely depressed by the whole thing.
Yeah.
And cynical, and it's just amazing.
Yeah. Another good TV series. Oh, I've forgotten the name of it. Around the Lake or Beyond the Lake. Oh, it's a from New Zealand. It was
The girl that gets.
It's
the girl that's the Maori girl that
yeah,
gets killed.
in the lake.
Yeah, it's fabulous.
Yeah, that was a really beautiful one.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Thank you so much, Lisa.
My pleasure. Nice to speak with you, Jesse.
Bye.
Bye. With pleasure, Milos.
Hello?
Hey,
Oh
Isabelle.
Oh my god! Hello! Hey, oh!
Did you call me?
Yes! Yes! Hi!
Hey! I can't see Isabelle.
Oh wait, let me turn it on. Hello! Hey, oh! Did you? Yes! Yes! Hey, I can't see you. I'm so confused. Say something.
Hello.
Oh, there you are.
There
okay.
I am.
I can't, you can't see me, but I can see you.
Yeah.
Okay, that's cool. Oh, sweet, sweet, sweet.
Hey, Isabelle.
Wow, you're here. I heard what you were saying with Jesse about the silence, or that the words aren't really the content of the words. Not, I don't know what you said.
I said the context of the contents of the words aren't really it. It's more to do with the nothingness in which they're spoken to. Like, this is stillness expressing, and it has no goal but its expression. The character has goals, and the separate objects apparently have goals, like the tree is to grow and the body is to survive. But it doesn't believe it's something more than it is. It's an expression of nothing, of silence. And in most places with humans, they're in a situation where there's validation constantly that they are a separate object and they are something in time, and that they're speaking from the past. They're speaking from a person that's come from the past and moving towards the future. Whereas this is just speaking for no reason. Obviously, the body has reason, but that's not who's speaking. That's the mechanism which is used to speak.
The mechanism seems to convince the thing that I experience as me, that I'm real. This is happening. I need to do something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It can feel like that when it comes up, particularly that you're somebody in there, and it does it through this energetic contraction, and then it sucks in all these emotions and feelings and thoughts and ideas and makes it feel really real and solid. But really, even that too is appearing in stillness and is stillness. That too is boundless freedom. It's just its job is to give the appearance that it's coming from the past and that you're somebody experiencing this separately.
Okay, that's its job. I fire it.
But that one that says that it will fire it is part of that whole concoction. Then there's another part which hears these talks and knows about the freedom beyond that person. There's a part most people wouldn't be listening otherwise, because these talks are really quite nonsensical and kind of a little bit repetitive. So there's another part which knows what's being talked about. It knows so deeply beyond anything, beyond any doubt or any conviction, anything like that. It just knows of its own absence and its expression. It is that. And so when it's talking or painting or listening to that divine piece of music, that is uncovered, and there's a resonance, and you look for that, but you won't find it in it. It is everything. It's not in the world, but yet everything is that. It's not in one particular object in the world, but yet everything is it.
It's like an embrace.
It's really beautiful, and it embraces everything and rejects nothing, no matter what Isabelle does or what the other does or what happens in life. And its total freedom is the fact that it's gone. It's appeared and it's disappeared. Being judges and discriminates against nothing. It doesn't have that quality. It doesn't have that ability. It is no quality in every quality. It creates that ability in the dream, but its quality has no rejection. It's like the perfect God.
You say instead of the perfect God?
I said it's like the perfect God.
It's like the perfect God, because it embraces everything and rejects nothing, and it embraces even the
ugly,
whatever.
the what we would call destruction, all of it.
When we say these words, I can flow with this quite nicely. The mind wants to bring the arguments, though.
Yeah.
I notice it wants to say, but.
Yeah, I know, and trust me, the argument from Lisa's perspective is totally full of holes. It doesn't really make sense. I mean, what a subject to be saying to people that you can't find it. It is everything, and it's no thing. I mean, what sort of subject is that? But it's so beautiful, and there can be a knowing of it beyond any thoughts of it.
Even the illogic of it makes sense to me. Sometimes. No thing. Okay. Lisa. Sweet. I don't like to make you go.
Maybe we can speak tomorrow, because I wanted to speak to you last week about that massage that you do.
Yes. Today's Wednesday. Tomorrow. Yeah. Okay. Yes.
If you're around, I'll call you. If I see you on Skype.
Okay. I would love to share. Okay. Yes. Anytime. 24/7. Okay, sweetie.
Bye, Isabelle.
Guys.
This is it, and no and. This is it, baby. Ta-da-ta! Are you watching Coronation Street at the same time, Helen?
Yes, I am. Yes. I don't know which is the best. I think it would be more spiritual for me, for my well-being, to ask you a question rather than and tape Coronation Street.
I grew up on Coronation Street.
Did you? Cool. Well, Lisa, I thank you so much. I got your book and I'm kind of dipping in and out of it.
Hello?
Hello, can you hear me?
Oh, yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, right. Oh, yes, okay. Oh, I can see you, but you can't see me.
No, I can't see you.
Okay, I just, because I'm not here. I just did ask a question about dogs, really.
Yes.
You know, your dog Khaleesi.
Mm-hmm. Hello?
Oh, sorry.
You keep disappearing.
Oh no, it's probably a really terrible connection.
Actually, it's fine, and then you just stop speaking. And then I think that you're having one
Okay.
of those pause moments of like taking your time, and then I'm like, hello?
Right. Oh, okay, right. I just want to ask you about dogs. I was in the park yesterday and I was watching dogs and they were running around and that. And you know when when I saw you in Ibiza and you were talking about, you said the dog doesn't see the floor as separate to its paw.
Yeah.
Doesn't see. But I saw this dog running after its owner, and then the owner threw a ball. So like, if the dog doesn't see separate, how come the dog ran after the ball and it didn't sort of run at something else? It's probably a very silly question. But,
No, it's not. It's not. The reason is because there's two things happening. There's the functioning of the body, so the body will respond it, but that doesn't need a separate self in order for that to happen. Separate self can be completely gone. There could be no sense that it's happening to you, and the body will still respond. Just like now, you're breathing, and it doesn't take you to breathe. You don't.
Yes.
You don't need to be there to breathe. You don't need to be there to even see. That happens naturally. You might think I need to open my eyes, but actually it's a natural functioning happening beyond you. And every action of the dog is happening like that. Its response to its name, it doesn't need any sense of self for that to happen. Its movement towards prey, so the bull, its movement towards the owner, Fu, it all happens without a separate self needing to be in play, without it in any way being self-aware and having a sense of itself. It can happen on autopilot, and it's so intimate, that happening. As soon as it's happened, it's disappeared, because there's nothing in between claiming anything. So the dog has no sense of self and no position, although the body carries on functioning. But who we often see others to be is the functioning. We think that the dog is the one that runs towards the ball. That is a separate self. And that's the illusion of self. There isn't actually somebody there. There's these robots that are programmed to move in certain ways. And in the human, there's these past memories, future memories, ideas about itself, and that's claimed to be a separate self, to be a person actually existing inside of the body rather than just a functioning happening as part of the flow of life.
Cool. Thank you very much, Lisa. Even though I probably...
Hello?
Thank you very much, Lisa. I really appreciate your time, and it's lovely to see you.
Yeah, my pleasure, Helen. Bye.
Okay, girl, all the best. Thanks a million. Lovely.
I don't understand your question, Radoslav. There is always one. Hi, Sean.
Hi, Lisa. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Awesome. Thank you so much for taking my call. I'm actually really grateful to be here because I found you just last night.
Oh, nice.
And funny enough, like I just came from a retreat by Rupert Spira. I don't know if you know him.
Yeah, I do know him.
But I was just there for like a whole week, and I'm a very like a very active business person in like the business world. So I just took like a 10-day off, and today's my 9th day, and I just wanted to commit these 10 days to like discovering my true self. So I went to Rupert, and I heard there someone told me, go and find Lisa. She's funny, she's awesome. She's young like you, and like they'll talk to you and stuff. So because I had so many questions at the seminar, I drove nearly everybody crazy. So he said, just go find Lisa, and then next thing you know, I came to your side, and funny enough, I'm talking to you now. So I'm just so thankful for that.
Okay, nice.
Yeah. So my question is actually, I just wrote down a couple of questions. That is, if you could go back to who you were before your realizations of you being the presence of awareness. How would you what would you tell yourself to your old personal self who was thinking they're the person in this mind and body to be able to dehypnotize that person?
Well, first of all, because you just started listening to my talks, you're going to be a little bit shocked, but I don't actually talk about consciousness or awareness. I see those as a functioning in this world and a form in this world, and the source of everything is nothing, not a thing, and yet it's everything. And I see consciousness and awareness as a functioning happening and form happening, similar to what the Buddhists believe, that consciousness too is also form. So just to say that one, but so what I tend to use the word being, but being doesn't really mean anything, and I mean being as nothing, as not a thing, and yet everything there is. So,
I think, isn't that the same as being awareness itself?
awareness is something that you can see, right?
Well, I'm thinking more like something invisible that's aware.
But you can comprehend it, right?
Yes.
So awareness,
That's the thing.
it depends on how people talk about awareness and consciousness, but awareness, I see, comes with forms and is a functioning in forms. It's a functioning with forms. It's something, it's not the source of everything. It's something that's appearing with forms.
Interesting.
It's intrinsic with forms. It's not the source of everything. But it is the source of everything in the sense of everything is the source of everything. It's everything, every form contains the source, which is no thing. And it's not anything describable in this world. It's not of this world, yet it's everything in this world. It is the whole world.
So that's a little different than what Rupert and those guys teach, is that correct?
Yeah, a little different.
Wow.
There's a similarity in that I don't know the way that they speak, and I don't know what they're speaking of, but I think that they come under the bracket of saying it's not two.
Yes,
It's
exactly.
not two.
So I guess what I'm trying to, I don't know, you can call it, I guess you don't call it awareness, so you are just this happening, right?
This.
You are no,
And
you
all
are
things,
no
no thing, and it is all things as well simultaneously.
and
this,
it is all things.
and it's everything or nothing which is looking, nothing which is experiencing, or everything which is experiencing itself. But you asked me the question of what would I say to the 18-year-old Lisa.
Exactly.
It depends on what she was asking me, whether she wanted just to be happy or whether she really wanted to hear non-duality. And I suspect at 18 years old, she just wanted to be happy. And if she just wanted to be happy, then I would recommend then maybe going into some form of therapies, not Western therapies, maybe physical therapy, like physical therapies, or some form of maybe Byron Katie therapy, as in like you're not your thoughts. But that's not the same as what I'm talking about. That's not non-duality. But I would recommend doing something in order to make the character less neurotic and help the character have a more successful, peaceful life. And I suspect that what she really wanted, Lisa, at that time, was just to be a happier person.
Right.
And that's got nothing to do with non-duality. I mean, non-duality really is about the death of that person, and it's completely different. It gives nothing to the person. It doesn't make the person happier. It doesn't give the person a happier life. It's the death of somebody looking anymore, which is really, really radical. It's really beyond any imaginations. And I think at 18, really, I just wanted to know how to deal with things. I just found life a bit of a struggle, and I didn't understand how to deal with relationships. I didn't understand why I get so upset and so emotional about things. I also think it can be helpful for the person to learn about the programming of a human, the scientific programming, to realize that we're not dissimilar to all other animals on this planet and all other forms on this planet, and to understand the actual programming and be realistic about what these bodies are, that these bodies move towards pleasure, and they will do that over everything. They will always move towards pleasure, even if that is the pleasure of saving another person. But this isn't anything to do with non-duality as such, although it has some common topics like moving towards pleasure. This is just about relaxing the person and making the person happier.
But Lisa, if we understand non-duality and we realize our true nature, wouldn't that be the same as happiness?
No, it's totally different. Happiness is something that comes and goes.
So would that be like, do you feel better than you did when you were 18 before your realization?
I don't feel better as such, because it's not Lisa that's experiencing anymore. It's not that 18-year-old Lisa that's got a life anymore. So as that person, I don't feel better, but it is total freedom, but not anything like the person would imagine. And it's the end of that person's life. It's a death of something. It's not just making that person have a more better experience. That person stops experiencing, and the movement goes back to beingness, which is absolute full stop. It appears, it disappears. It's the death of anything that holds on to what's happening. Although the character carries on functioning, the character is no longer an experiencer in any way. So that means everything's gone as soon as it's appeared. Because beingness, nothing, has no quality and cannot hold on to anything. The character can remember, but that's no longer the experiencer and no longer taken as a reality as it was before. So it's total freedom, but not any type of freedom that the character and the person can imagine. And it's not happiness for the person. Happiness for the person is something that comes and goes.
Okay, so let's say if you were talking to Lisa and she didn't want specifically happiness, like emotions of happiness, but she wanted to know the truth of what she actually is, what would you say to her in that case?
I wouldn't believe her.
You wouldn't believe what?
That she wanted to know this.
Oh.
I don't think any person would want to know about their own death.
Wow.
I just realised that you can see me if you like. Here, I can turn my video on. It's really not. It really isn't anything for anybody, and I mean that.
So I just want to understand what is happening in this mind and body, because I feel honestly like, Lisa, I've overcome a lot of struggle in my life, and if you'd ask me, I feel like I have a really amazing life in so many ways, and I'm very happy. But I still have this yearning to know what it's all about. I have this intense desire to just, know what it's all about. That's what I want to know. So I don't know if it's me seeking happiness or if it's me wanting to, know the truth or what that is. I just feel that it's still searching.
Yeah, I think that that's the natural part of a human, is to search. And so most probably because you're quite satisfied now and that your life is quite balanced and that you have a lot of things that you want as a character, then it begins to ask bigger questions.
Exactly.
It's not that person that will go home, and it's not that person that will find itself, but it's part of what can happen in some body-mind mechanisms. But that you are seeking still for a thing. You will until the end, you will see a liberation as a thing. But in that search, more than likely, the person will get eaten. Like I, right until the end, I still thought that liberation was some form of understanding or experience. I really thought I would get something and have some form of experience. I didn't realize it was the absence of myself.
But when you're just curious, when you say absence of myself, you're still able to plan and design like events for the future, but
Yeah,
without.
but that doesn't equal a separate self. That's a functioning, just like the breathing happens.
Wow.
Breathing doesn't require someone. We assume that action and choices that we make equals a separate person and a separate self, rather than it's a functioning that comes with these complicated bodies. Just like the fish swims, the human thinks.
So let's say you plan your next retreat and you're making all these plans, but there's no thought that says, I just did the planning or I am going to go there.
There can be thoughts, but there's nothing that claims that. What is actually planning and speaking and doing in every moment is silence, is emptiness, is nothing. It's not going through the filter of somebody that's come from time. So in each moment, whatever's happening, it comes directly from emptiness.
I see. Okay, like I noticed that right now you're having a little bit of a cold, and I actually have a little bit of a cold. So I just wanted to know, how do you interpret this sickness, and if you have headache and stuff like that, how do you? Does that bother you, or what do you?
You still speak to me as if you still speak to me as if you think that somebody's having an experience inside this body.
I speak to you as if. Sorry, could you repeat that?
Somebody's having an experience inside this body. Who do you imagine Lisa to be?
Yeah, that's right. And the way I speak to you, I make an assumption that you're a person.
Yeah.
But that's not the case. You are.
Well, yeah. The same is that way. It's just that in the Shawn body, there is something which is claiming to be having an experience. Actually, right there is absolute emptiness experiencing. But there's just a filter in the middle saying, no, it's me, and who it imagines itself is that body, its actions, its choices, its behaviours, what it owns most probably, its spiritual search, its behaviour, habit, genetics, intelligence, all those sort of things. That's who it thinks it is. And it thinks that it's looking outside the body and that's what's looking out. But actually, it's total vastness looking out. This is everything looking out, or nothing looking out, or perfect, brilliant stillness looking, experiencing itself in all things. And it's not even looking at the things are the looking. It's quite spectacular.
How is it possible that if like we've been raised all our life, we've been treated as a person, like all our parents have been treating us as a person, and anybody we talk to, they treat us as a thing.
Yeah.
How is it possible for that thing to become no thing?
Well, it's not that person that becomes no thing. It was always no thing, but life, no thing, moves the clouds out of the way. It no longer looks through that filter. But
so is that happening automatically? Like
yes,
there's nobody there to make that happen?
Yes, just like everything. Just like the sun shines automatically, the flower grows automatically. It's only the human that has the arrogance to claim its actions. My dog does not sit there and contemplate her actions and think what a good or bad dog she is. She has no sense of that.
I mean, either way, life has brought us together to be having this conversation for this moment. So, what could that be the meaning of it?
Because it wants to expose that. It can express every possibility, life, and it does express every possibility. So it expresses the illusion, and then it also expresses the disillusion of it. It comes home again. It expresses everything.
Okay, but I guess I don't know what to say. I just feel like I need to know more, or I need to do something, or I need to realize something, or I need to just be told something, or I don't know.
But that's the whole setup of the person, and that might begin to feel a bit uncomfortable because the whole life that person has been programmed that way. Not only is it genetically programmed that way, but it's also programmed that way by society, that it's your job to get to places. But actually there's something else here that's always here, that's totally free. It's not something you can see, it's not got a quality, it's everything and it's nothing.
So what would be your recommendation to this person in anything I can do or not do, or?
I don't see a person.
But would you be able to like imagine what I see as a person?
Well, it's like these sounds are like watching fireworks or something. It's like this. It's just fireworks of sound, and they also come with a meaning. They seem to make sense, the sounds.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like fireworks, and then it's believing that those fireworks equal a person.
Wow.
And you feel like I'm talking to that person, but in every instant, there's all these energies and thoughts and feelings appearing, giving the appearance that somebody's listening to Lisa and that somebody's having a conversation. But it's not. It's life playing an amazingly clever chemical trick.
Wow.
So I can't look at you and pretend that you're something solid in there that could possibly understand or hear this or fix themselves. There is nothing which I could speak to. There is simply stillness, expressing. It's such a brilliant message. But at the same time, for the person that's always felt like it's doing things, it's very frustrating, but it's so beautiful in its essence. Everything is it.
Yeah, well, my mind doesn't understand it, but I think maybe that's what it needs to hear right now, right? So.
Yeah, if that's what's happening.
Well, thank you so much, Lisa. I really appreciate you.
My pleasure, Sean. Lovely to speak with you.
Thank you. Likewise. Bless you. Bye-bye.
Bye. Hey, Laurie.
Hi, Lisa. Okay, I don't see you.
I know it did work earlier on earlier calls, but now it's just circling.
Yeah, I see that circle going around.
Yeah.
Can you see me?
Yeah, I can see you.
Oh, okay.
We can try hanging up, and I can try getting it. Let me try again. I'll
Okay.
just call you back in a minute. Hey, Laurie.
I see you. That was really good with the last caller because he had a lot of the same thing that I am going through. There's so many things that are happening here that are making me excited about life because there's less reaction to things that are happening.
Yeah.
Big things like somebody just blatantly saying that I was fake to my face. I mean, it's like the universe is bringing it, and I'm not reacting. I'm watching the body contraction and the thoughts coming, but I'm not. See, when I say I'm, it's like I'm not attached like I was. There's no other way to say it.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that's okay. So what seemingly happens is that the person gets less and less strong. So it can give that appearance as if it's less reactive, it's not getting so involved in problems. But remember, that's an experience, and that's something that you see in time, and so that can't be it. But it tends to be the side effect. The person becomes very relaxed and passive, and doesn't necessarily always notice problems that other people do, and doesn't really, like, these things happen, and then there's pain, and then they go, and it just becomes a lot more relaxed. But these are all something that happens for someone, so you'd say that's the side effect. That's the side effect of what happens in the body, and it's not a guaranteed. You know, if you're a really difficult person from birth, then that will carry on. You do get some characters that are born into this world grumpy. We all know them.
I know some, yeah.
And then with the added extra believing it's them, it's 10 times worse. But even when that crumbles, they're still grumpy, I'm sure.
Well, okay, so yes, I realized that the people that are closest to me, to this body and mind, they are the closest ones that I have an issue with when they're grumpy or they're just not accepting the changes that are happening here. I'm it's a victim mentality here.
Yeah. No, that's how everyone feels though, but everybody's like that. When everybody goes into stories, they always take the victim position as if they've been wronged. Even the paedophile will feel like they've been wronged. Even the murderer. It's the way that humans feel. They feel like something's been taken from them and they've lost something, and they feel victimized by life. That's how humans work. If you ever listen to their stories, they always present it as if they've been victimized. No one really presents himself as a villain, occasionally when they feel really guilty. But most of the time they present it with a little bit of hint that it was somebody else's fault and something else. But also, we are victims in a way, because these bodies are just programmed the way they're programmed. So the separate self, in a way, is a victim, because it's like it's taking responsibility for something that it was never responsible for. Like, these bodies have their certain ways of being, and if you're a pain in the arse, then you're a pain in the arse. And if you're a saint, you're a saint. And none of it's personal. It's just the way, it's the way that it all worked its way out. But when the person's there, that's what they're always doing, is telling the victim story. Always. They're always playing that card. I'd say in 90% of the conversation, they're trying to make themselves look like the saint and others look like the sinner.
Done that. My sister and I saw it. It was seen this morning. I did a mushroom, a magic mushroom this week.
You did? Where did you find that? In the fields?
No.
You can't.
Somebody got it for me.
You got it.
Anyway.
I thought that you'd just been out in the fields. In Thailand, you could just get them off the buffalo poop.
Oh, shit! Well, yeah, shit. It is awful shit, yeah.
Did your husband do it with you as well?
No, he was our sitter.
Ah, yes.
He was petrified that something horrible was going to happen to me. He literally thought that. Actually, he went into this big story of him being the victim if. It was bad, but it turned out to be he got to the deeper level of his thoughts of this. Anyway, so all I felt was as if I had smoked 3 hits off a joint. It was just a little bit of a buzz, which was able. I know, but next time I'm going to do it by myself, nobody else involved, and just close my eyes But it was good because the thoughts were coming, and I was seeing how much I was needing to please, or this needs to please others, like constantly worrying about what they think because of what I have done. Wow, that was good, but that's still not it.
Yeah, because still it's somebody that recognizes that.
Right.
And you can also get into spins about, like, I think it's lovely having more self-awareness of what the programming is, but you can also get into spins of that. I meet spiritual people that are so crazy with over-analyzing themselves.
Well, that would be.
Oh.
That would be. Well, doing. Definitely. But that's because doing Byron Katie and all the stuff that's happened to me in the past year, Jeff Foster, all. It's too.
The mind goes crazy with it and just becomes a new game. But there can be some beauty in it, like to have more self-awareness or more apparent self-awareness of what the programming does and what the robot does can be very liberating, but it also can become another obsession.
That it is. I think
the mind goes crazy trying to find out all these reasons and links up all these patterns, and but it's just it was doing it with the external before, and now it's just doing it with the apparent eternal. There's no internal. There's no different really. There's one and the same thing.
I see that.
And all the time it's happening in perfect, brilliant stillness, as stillness. All that movement and craziness and brilliance and genius and magic mushrooms and buffalo poop. All of it is perfect stillness. None of it was ever affected and all totally free.
So, basically, I'm just waiting for this damn shift to happen that's just not happening.
Well, no, because the person's always waiting for something.
Yes.
So it's not really waiting for the shift to happen, it's waiting for something. It's not really waiting for no thing. It's waiting for something. That sounds like a mind play, but I promise you that makes sense.
Sure, whatever you say.
It's waiting for a thing. The person can only wait for a thing.
Yes.
And what's been talked about here is not an experience in any way. But yet it's always in all those confused looks and the frustration and the brilliance and the genius, it's there. It's just the person's looking in a world that doesn't exist. But it's okay. You never lost home. You never went from home. You never strayed from home. It's only that it's only an imagined world that you have. You've always been totally free and boundless. You're not really that person that's looking, or feels like it's looking, or that person that feels like it's having an experience. That is an experience happening. It's brilliant. It's a film of Laurie happening, but it's so 3D and it's not 3D. It's like it's so real that it's as if you are Laurie. But it's the experience of Laurie, the film of Laurie, the play of Laurie, happening for nobody. Not anybody in this world, not anything in this world, yet everything is it.
Can you see this? Trying to suck in everything that you're saying, and it doesn't make no sense whatsoever.
It's nice being able to see your face.
Alright.
Laurie got nowhere. She's like, oh, okay, alright then.
There's nowhere to go. I see that. It's all a joke. It's all a joke. A cruel trick. What it feels like to the person.
To the person, but it's absolutely ingenious. It's absolutely ingenious that who I'm speaking to now is stillness, but it feels like I'm speaking to a person, to you. Yes. And that's ingenious that life has created that illusion. This is oneness giving the appearance that somebody is having an experience. I know it doesn't feel ingenious at the moment. It feels whatever Laurie's feeling, and it feels tumbled around with life, but it is totally amazing.
Now, so something feels that.
Yeah.
That resonates somewhere.
Yeah.
And then the wanting it comes, which I know that's the person who doesn't even exist, but that's...
Yeah. But that's it. That's what these talks are all about, is just that resonance, that talking nothing to nothing, that just clearing.
So when you were seeking,
Yeah.
and you're sitting face to face with whoever, Tony Parsons or whatever.
Ramesh, yeah. I'll just
Or
say
Ramesh,
Ramesh because I've got a feeling where this question's going, and I've got a video of it on YouTube.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
What do you mean?
There's a video of me and Ramesh speaking, basically me asking him what I could do. And he just kept repeating, it's happening, it's happening. And I'm like,
Oh, so you're me. You were, so you get it. That's where I was going with this. You felt this frustration and...
Yeah, you should look at it. It's called Lisa the Seeker. And just when you click on it, open up below YouTube and you'll see the transcription, because he's not got his teeth in, so for most people they can't understand him. with a Hindi accent as well, or Marathi accent.
Okay.
So he's a
Lisa,
bit like, so you can see the transcription underneath the video, but you just get it. But basically what he's saying to me with all these stories is he's saying it's a happening, and you can see by the reaction on my face, I look like I'm gonna pop.
Just like I feel.
I think less friendly than your face. You wait till you see it.
Well, I got the friendly thing down. So who's the guy that you've been talking with? The Indian?
Oh, Elango.
Elango, yeah. Oh, I love you too. Back and forth, and he's hammering. He's so, all up here. And he's so firing. Exactly. Oh, yeah. And
every angle, yeah. He's actually wanting to speak tonight, but I make him wait till the very end, because otherwise no one else gets a chance.
Because it just goes.
Yeah.
Oh, shoot. If you'll have time for him today. Because you've talked to a lot of people today.
Yeah. Yeah, there's still quite a few more actually that want to speak.
So the TV series was in the lake?
I think so, in the lake or by the lake. It's by a New Zealand film company, so it's quite easy to find. It's got American actors and a Maori actor. It's really, really beautiful. I can't remember the name of the lady that acts in it.
Okay. And then
Under the Lake. It might also be Under the Lake.
Oh, Under.
It could be one of them. Yeah.
Okay. So what was the movie that Jesse was talking about? And you said yes, because I couldn't understand his Skype wasn't clear.
No, his Skype was bad. Yeah, I could only just get it. I think I missed some of it.
So you don't remember the name of?
Oh yeah, Momentum. Momentum. No, Memento.
Momentum, like getting momentum, like the movement?
Yeah.
Okay, momentum. Okay, gotcha.
You'll like that one.
I will? Okay.
It's got Tom Cruise in it.
Oh!
I know, it's a surprise. He plays a good role in that. But he does a few of these films. He also did one called Vanilla Sky, where they're not what they seem.
Vanilla Sky, now that sounds familiar.
That's a good one as well.
Well, he's in that, what is that religious thing?
Oh, yeah. But
so that is different than your average religion.
Yeah.
It's more mind.
Yeah, but I think that they believe we're being dreamed by aliens.
Oh.
I'm not sure about Scientology, but I think that's what it is.
That's it, Scientology, yeah. By aliens.
Yeah.
What the hell? What the hell? At least that makes some sort of sense. What you say doesn't make any sense. But I still have this thing. All right, I'm done. I'm dying to look for Lisa the Seeker.
Yeah, it's so sweet. But it's so hard to understand because of, I mean, it's like Elango's accent, but he's also 91 or something at the age, and he's got no teeth in. So you can imagine how hard it is for anyone. But I knew him so well that I could understand what he was saying.
How did you know him so well? You were with him a lot?
Yeah, I spent a lot of time in India going to see him. Yeah. I know Mumbai and that area very well. Yeah.
So you're going to go again in December or January?
No, he died in 2009.
No. But you were telling it
Elango
that you might go and.
Yeah.
That's one place scares me. All the people get some kind of sickness when they go there.
Yeah, you get a flush out. You get the cleaning. It's very therapeutic.
You did a flush out. Will Paul go with you?
I think so for a couple of weeks, but because he's a dad, he has to stay. But yes, that's another advertisement. I want to go to India. I've managed to get my parents to agree to 4 weeks of looking after Khaleesi. I need another 2 weeks, and they could stay in my house in Holland. I haven't asked Paul that yet, to look after her, but they need to be very experienced, very experienced dog owner, because she's well behaved, but she needs someone that's the boss.
Right. That's not wishy-washy, which
Yeah.
I would not be very good at.
Yeah, she needs a very. I'm not very good at it either. That's why.
I'm not firm. My cat runs me.
Yeah, yeah. She needs a big guy or a tough lady.
Right. Somebody who's stern. And,
Yeah.
Yeah. So the little skit that you two were working on last year, is this what's turned into the movie?
We did start working on it in about 2014, February 2014. I don't know if that's what the skit was.
You had told me that you and Paul had come up with a funny little skit that you were going to do on YouTube again.
Oh, we always do that, but it just sometimes takes time to come through. Paul is so creative, and my original career was in playwriting and script writing. So when he starts doing that, it just gets me going. I haven't written for years, but when I'm with him and he starts telling me about it, I'm like, look, hang on, show me, and then I start rewriting it. He's really good with the ideas and like knowing how to do things and pull things off and get them produced, but I'm really good at dialogue and that sort of thing.
So the two of you together working good on the. Was
Yeah.
it Alice?
Who is Alice? It's called Who the Fuck is Alice, but because it's aimed at a spiritual market, we've got to. Paul's decided we've got to call it Who is Alice.
Whatever. I'm anxious for it. I'm glad it's going to be in English.
Yeah. And it's a proper movie this time. Last time he did a doco movie. This is a full 90-minute non-doco.
So nobody's going to be coming in and stopping it and explaining.
No, nothing like that. But we are going to have non-duality speakers playing roles in it. So we're going to have like Tony Parsons playing a role in it, Jeff Foster's, if we can get all these people. Yeah. Paul's trying to get Eckhart Tolle just to play little tiny roles in it that aren't necessarily teaching.
Right.
It'll be really funny. Paul is really good at these things.
Oh, I hope they're willing to go with you. Oh, that'd be awesome.
Yeah.
Boy, it'd be pretty big.
He's just got that guy that runs SAND to agree to support it. Maurizio. I've forgotten his name. He runs Science and Non-Duality Conference, and he knows a lot of the speakers, so it might happen.
Maybe something big.
It will definitely be something very funny.
Oh, it's going to be funny. Okay.
Funny with a little bit of tragedy.
And
you can't have a good drama without a bit of tragedy.
True. Gosh, now I'm really chomping at the bit. It's probably going to be another year or more.
2006, the end of 2016 or spring 2017.
Oh, God. Okay, let it go.
Yeah.
For now. Okay. Well,
very lovely to speak with you.
Same here. Thank you, Lisa.
Bye. Hey, Paul. Hi, Nick. Top of the lake. Ah, Laurie. So I said under the lake, by the lake, in the lake. It's top of the lake. Top of the lake. Top of the lake, Phyllis says. Elango. Oh, Bill, I just missed you again.
Hello?
Hey, Elango.
Hello?
Hi.
Able to see me?
No, I can't see you. I don't think
Yeah,
you can
now?
see me either. No.
One second. Hey, 1 second. I will do. Just sorry. Just adjusting the Skype. Hello.
Hi.
Hello.
Hello. Can you hear me?
I am able to hear you. 1 second.
Hello. I can see you, but I don't think you can see me. It's just getting stuck.
Yeah, I can't. What happened?
I don't know. It just is going
Okay.
round and round.
Yeah. So how are you?
Yes, very well, thank you. And yourself?
Yeah, I'm great. You're having a cough.
Yeah, a little bit. We just had a massive change in weather. Last week it was down to like 13, 12 some days, and now we're up to 33. So everybody's
Oh.
getting the cold because it's a shock for the body.
Is it allergic?
No, I think it's just the change of the sudden change of weather. The body just gets a lot of mucus.
Yeah. Correct. Because for allergic cough, in India we used to take pepper and dried ginger.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Now we'll try that after the talk.
Yeah. Today you were telling actually you took, apparently it appeared that you took a position with a speaker before the lady, a gentleman, a young person. You had said this message is so beautiful and the essence of it. So do you accept that there is a message being given now?
Well, seemingly in the appearance of things, there's two people speaking, but ultimately, it's not a personal thing. It's not my message.
Yeah, it's okay. It is not your message, but then is there a message?
There is a communication from nothing to nothing seemingly happening, but in that, there's an appearance of somebody thinking they're getting something, maybe. And somebody thinking they're hearing something on one side, but really this is nothing expressing itself for nobody. But there seems to be a communication happening.
There seems to be a communication, or there is a communication?
It seems to be. It always seems to be. It's never like we think it is.
But that language is a bit not able to get a clarity on that. It seems to be a message.
Yeah.
Because even today you had said that to one of the speakers that there is no one here who recognizes a person across.
Yeah.
But there is, you said, a firework of sounds. There was a beautiful use of the English language. A firework of sounds happening, and the universe playing a false sort of chemical reaction trick on the human body to make it appear like it's communication.
Yeah. So it appears like what's happening now is that Lisa's expressing non-duality to Elango, but ultimately there's not a solid Elango or a solid Lisa here. There is appearances happening, giving the impression that there's two bodies speaking about non-duality. But it's not an actuality. The actuality is this, and this is totally non-describable, and it's happening and not happening. And it's nothing that we comprehend or understand. It's totally miraculous and free. It's only not free to a person in time. It's only not free to what we think we know about it. The person knows about it.
But a person always exists in time, isn't it? That's what you've been telling.
Yeah.
So the timeless, now the person cannot exist.
No.
Then from my end, who's actually understanding all these things? If there is nobody here also.
Being.
Pardon?
Being, which is nothing and everything. being, aliveness, which is nothing and everything. It's not a thing. It's not of this world, yet it's everything in this world. It's not Elango listening, it never has been. There's not an Elango there. There's not a solid Elango there.
Then who's listening?
Being. B-E-I-N-G.
Or otherwise called as God?
Yes.
So God is listening. Then after the talk, when this body mind has its own routine life, when issues happen, is it that God is having all the problems in life?
Yes.
Issues?
But the way that God has the problems in his life is it creates the appearance of Elango that feels like he's real and feels like he's got problems. That's the way God creates it in order to have this human experience. But God has no problems because God has no quality, but yet is every quality. To God, this is totally free and it's gone as soon as it's appeared. It's a totally creative and artistic expression.
So the God creates a robotic toy called as Elango and plays with it.
But he creates it out of himself. He creates everything. It's not even he, it creates everything. So the robotic Elango, every ounce of it is made of God. But then God also creates the feelings that that Elango is a separate person and Elango is having a separate experience from everything else. And then the suffering begins, because then Elango feels abandoned and alone and feels that pleasure is the only source of happiness. That pleasure is the only source of completion. And so he spends his whole life seeking for pleasure and putting so much emphasis on pleasure until he gets tighter and tighter and smaller, trying to seek for something that doesn't exist. But God doesn't mind, because God has no preference. God has no quality. So he or it accepts Elango totally as he is, and Elango suffering, and Elango feeling abandoned, and Elango getting smaller and smaller and tighter. God accepts everything because it has no quality. It's everything and nothing. There's nothing which could reject Elango. There's nothing that could abandon Elango. Every action of Elango was always supported and part of this, part of God.
And the false I has also been created by God. The energetic contraction.
Yes. Everything has. And it's God experiencing now, it's God looking now, but not as a person. Not as something. Something is already a form. There's nothing and everything.
And when this energetic contraction goes away, we call that as enlightenment.
Yes, that's what we call enlightenment, but it's not for anyone.
Yeah. It's the death of the person in time.
Yeah. And it's such a sweet thing, because if we speed up, if we go as fast as light, then everything disappears. So we become enlightened, we become still.
Once again, I mean, that's physics. When you go to the speed of light, actually everything stops. And that's a physics statement, right?
Yeah.
But you're bringing it to non-duality. Could you just, I mean, like, sort of give us the link?
Oh,
I understand in physics that when you travel at the speed of light, everything becomes still.
Yeah.
But how does it transfer into non-dual?
Just that we describe it as enlightenment, we become light.
Correct.
So it becomes total stillness. We believe this world is really real and it's really moving and it's really happening, where actually there's nothing happening. The nature of everything is still. It just seems to be happening. But it's a trick.
And this energetic contraction drops by itself. It cannot be done by anybody or
There isn't anybody.
by a technique.
There isn't anybody. Techniques can happen, doing can happen, and all of that's welcome, but there isn't anybody that could do anything. There isn't anyone that could follow a technique. In each moment, that creation of the illusion is totally fresh.
So even the Buddha was enlightened without his own volition. Was
Yes.
it so?
Yes.
Then what was he talking about? Just a second, let me rephrase the question. It is not only to Buddha, but to all teachers, or even you who say that you are not eating, then there is a teaching coming through.
Yeah.
From the Buddha to Adi Shankara to you, through you, there is some sort of a communication happening, but you had said that it is an apparent communication. If the Buddha was enlightened without his own volition, if Lisa Keynes was enlightened without her own methodology or technique, then what is happening after the enlightenment in the lives of Buddha and Lisa Keynes?
That it's no longer somebody doing it, it's just expression happening.
So actually this is just a firework of sound.
Yeah.
Having no meaning.
No, but it seems to have meaning, but it's the perfect play of things. The perfect play. The perfect expression of fireworks.
Even in the beginning of this session you had said it apparently appears to be seeming like there is a message.
Yeah.
What does that mean? Is there a message or not? If I am going to ask you a yes or no question. Hello?
Hello. I'm just just seeing what comes.
You said it seems like a message.
Yeah.
So should we take it there is a message? Hello?
But who's the message for? Who's hearing this message? A message makes it sound like it's for someone, makes it sound like I'm speaking to you.
Yeah.
There seems to be a speaking about non-duality here, which is really beautiful, and that's what happens here, but it's not really set up like that I'm liberating something. It's just expression happening, and these bodies now have to have the expression of listening to non-duality, and this body has to have the expression of speaking it, but it's not really happening for anyone. It's an expression, like the swirls in the water or the ocean.
So this is not the false I speaking at all, is it?
Which false I?
For example, from my side, I am not enlightened, so I have a thought coming up and saying, I listen to Lisa Keynes.
Yeah.
That's the false I, right?
Yeah.
That's the person, which you don't have.
No. But it's not that I don't have it in a way that doesn't make sense. But there's not a person speaking here, but it's not something that somebody has. This is stillness speaking, but it's not something that somebody could have.
Let me rephrase it. I can tell that maybe 5 years ago, this body-mind had that false I.
Yeah. But all of that's like that. All of that is in and out of storylines. The only thing that really can be expressed is who's speaking now, and it's not a character speaking. There's not a Lisa here speaking. This is not coming from somebody.
Okay, it is coming from nobody, but who's listening here? I have a character.
You think there is this dynamic playing which gives the appearance to Elango. They're always so much fun, the Indian adverts.
Hello?
Hiya.
Yeah, that is over. So it apparently appears there is a nobody speaking to somebody here who thinks there is a somebody, but actually here there is also a nobody.
No, yes. It just feels like somebody's there.
Hello.
Hey, yeah.
Yeah. So a thought comes up and then says a certain character is listening to Lisa Keynes. That's
Sorry?
how it goes?
It feels like somebody's listening to Lisa Cairns, but there's nobody listening to Lisa Cairns. That is not who you are.
There is nothing listening to nothing.
Yes. Or everything. Or you could say everything's listening to everything.
Fine. Nothing, everything is listening to nothing, everything by means of a non-message.
It's not quite as black and white as that.
I understand. But the problem with people like us is that later on the thought comes up and the story goes in la la land and we have our own folders and they link up and then the pleasure pain principle starts working.
Yeah.
And that is stated by.
It could be very uncomfortable, yeah.
So you had said that maybe psychologically you can start relaxing it, but still you are in a cage.
Yeah, but there can be ways to relax it. Even listening to non-duality can be relaxing to discover that you're not the person doing your actions. But there could be lots of physical therapies that could help relax that tension or give the effect of relaxing that tension. I'm not really a fan of Western psychology, but but having a broader perspective, learning about the programming of a human being, like people take it so personally that each individual body is programmed towards pleasure, and we take that so personally. Why didn't he think of me? Why am I not the most important person to him? Because each body's programmed to go towards pleasure. So there can be things that could be learned that will relax that and make life a lot easier. Because when you believe you're separate, it goes into so many neurotic and hateful thought patterns. It really goes into a lot of bizarre thought patterns of whose fault it is and why he did this and why he did that. And ultimately, it's because there's the false assumption that you exist. But in that, there could be a relaxing of it. There could be a learning how to deal with it.
But still you're in the cage.
Yes, but it will be a lot better. A lot happier.
Yeah, but then you can't do it. You means I can't do it. It has to happen.
It has to happen. But normally once the idea gets presented, it normally goes ahead and happens. So if I said to you pass the salt, normally the body passes the salt. So if I were to say, you could relax yourself, then the body might go and investigate some of the things that were suggested here. But it's not freedom, it's not what's being talked about in that. It's just talking about relaxing. And there's nothing wrong with relaxing the person. I'm totally not against that. But that's got nothing to do with non-duality. But a lot of people that are into non-duality, really, that's all they want, is just a bit of a happier life. And looking to non-duality won't give that. It might relax the person a bit, but there's other ways that are maybe more functional and easy. Like I met a girl recently that had trouble swallowing and had problems eating, and she began to do work with Byron Katie, and a lot of that really relaxed and helped her as a person. It helped her regain new conditioning and not get so panicked by food. But it's not that there's actually somebody in there, but it's like it's the same as when the leg is broken, a cast gets put on. When the psychology goes crazy, then a cast is presented. I don't mean a cast, but I mean like there's something which can help improve that. But that's not non-duality, and a lot of people come to non-duality to try and do that. And a lot of speakers speak about both at the same time. They talk about psychology and non-duality, and I'm not criticizing that. But a lot of people mix up the two and think that enlightenment is something to do with the person and the character.
what you have just now spoken apparently appears to contradict the statement that we had made, that what's happening is destiny, and even whatever you say through anything cannot act on what's happening.
No.
There is no freedom.
No. There is no what?
No freedom.
No.
So when we suggest something to somebody, unless it is there in the script, it will not happen.
No, it won't. But if we were sitting around a table, Elango, and I said to you, Elango, could you pass me the salt? There's a good chance that will happen.
Only if it is
if I said to you, if I suggested that your character might become, might be more happy by doing, say, work of Byron Katie, then there's a good chance it'll happen. Not because it's anybody's free will, not because it's not to do with it being one script and there's only one way it can go. It's just the functioning of it. Humans have this apparent conversation going back and forth. It doesn't mean because I say to you, can you pass the salt, and you pass me the salt, that there's free will. It's just the play acting its way out. Like in a film, one character says, shall we go and sit down? And they both go and sit down. It's all in the script. It's the way that humans communicate. And if I said to you, could you pass me the dog lead? You'd go and find the dog lead. Or if I said, could you move that table? You'd move the table. Not because there's independence or free will or that it's not all written, but because that's how humans communicate. That's the flow of them. So like when you're learning to be a doctor, you have to read these books. And if you're in surgery, you'd have to say, can you pass me this tool or put on more light? And then it most of the time happens, but not always.
But the bottom line is, there is no free will.
No. That is not somebody that says, can you pass me the salt? That is a functioning appearing, like the light appears, like the sun shines, like the tree blows in the wind.
You had said today to one of the persons who had spoken that I don't believe that a person wants to die.
Yeah.
In enlightenment.
No. The person always wants a thing, and enlightenment is no thing. So the person always wants an object, it wants a state, it wants something that it can see and know. It doesn't want nothing.
Yeah, but when I speak to you, who's speaking? It's not the person speaking, right?
No.
So when I say that I want enlightenment, that's sort of...
That's nothing speaking through a filter of somebody. That's nothing speaking through a filter of Elango, and the Elango wants something. But really, your nature wants nothing. Your nature is totally free.
Then why is it blabbering like this?
Because that's what beingness does, is it expresses in many different ways.
So the filter corrupts it.
Yes, but the filter is also the divine. It is also God.
Yeah, but then for you the filter went off.
The energy moved from being that to nothing, to beingness, to a stillness. But I can't talk about it in time. If I talk about it in time, I'm going into storylines. I can only talk about this. Here, there is not someone speaking to you. Like, to say the filter went off is to believe that I'm something moving in time again. It's really a weird thing.
Yeah, I understand that. In one of your talks, and I think somewhere in 2011, on the YouTube, there was a Eastern European language below. I think it is Polish or something. I couldn't understand. But you had spoken about the end of suffering by Buddha.
Yeah.
That's what enlightenment is all about, or non-dual teaching is all about. You know, somewhere on those lines. Am I right?
I said what? Sorry.
You said something which resonated with what the Buddha's teaching was. About 20 years ago, when I started hearing about the Buddha, and he was keeping on talking about suffering, and stopping the suffering in human life, I thought, what is this person talking like? And other big teachers were talking about enlightenment being in a state of 24/7, 365 bliss, and becoming everything. Buddha keeps on talking about the end of suffering. You spoke on that talk about the end of suffering. Do they both tally?
To me, enlightenment is the end of suffering, which is not a thing. It's an absence of an illusion. people that are speaking about bliss and high experiences are still talking about a thing to me, and so no, it's not the same thing. They're still talking about a state.
Correct.
They're still talking about something in this world. But the Buddha got very not corrupted, that's such a harsh word, but corrupted by being written down many a times. So I can really hear non-duality in Buddhism, but when you look at it as a whole, there's so much dogma in it. But you can, like, the Heart Sutra is a good example of non-duality. And there's certain, the Heart Sutra.
What was that?
Well, I used to be able to recite it, but I can't anymore. Let me have it.
Okay.
I still have it in my documents. I love it, so I keep it. Just let me find it.
Is it in your book?
No, I don't think it is. Well, maybe you can look it up. It's lots of different translations of it again. But also the way that the Buddha talked about suffering as well.
Yeah.
Like the recognition that this is suffering. As a person, it is suffering. To believe this is happening to you, that is suffering. But then
So
there's lots of other things that it goes into, but it is suffering when you think that you're separate from life and that you're having an experience in time.
So according to you, liberation can also be relabeled as end of suffering.
Yeah, it's not an experience. It's an absence.
Absence of suffering.
Yeah, but that absence can bring lots of experiences, like lots of bliss and all these different things, but all of those experiences come and go. That's not it. That's a side effect.
And in some of your earlier videos I was watching, you were using the Namaste the sign.
Yeah.
The Indian, but nowadays you don't use it, right?
Yeah, I think that was just the conditioning of this body. There'd been a lot of time spent in India, and now there hasn't been much spent in India the last 4 or 5 years.
Okay.
In my 20s, there's a lot of time spent in India.
Or was it the influence of people around you at that point in time?
Sorry?
Was it the influence of certain teachers or people?
Yeah, Ramesh, Balsakar, and just spending time in India, you just get used to doing that.
You know, what I'm looking at is the last couple of years, is it that your state of whatever you are, you're totally off all those orthodox teachings and...
Yeah, could have been, yeah. Could have been a moving away from all of that and any ideas that were left disappearing that are related to any spiritual thing or any experience. But there wouldn't be a noticing of that, because the noticing of that is always for a person.
We just again, if I am not persistent, just expand on this phrase you've been using today. Seems like a message.
Yeah.
You don't say it is a message, but you say it seems like a message, what you're talking to us.
Well, yeah, could be. It seems like Lisa's talking about non-duality. It seems like two people are talking here, but really this is stillness.
And this false I has to drop by itself, with the God willing.
Everything's always happened by itself. This has always been the work of God. Everything.
So your famous statements of doing happens, nothing born, nothing dies.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. When we go to a funeral, we see a body dead.
Yes.
Dead be there.
Yeah. But that's only our label of it. We actually don't know what dead is. It's just a form changing into another form. We call dead the absence of the movement of the body. But actually, if you look inside the body, it's still moving. It's still changing.
What about childbirth?
What
When
about?
a baby is born? Hello?
Hi, it comes again, I think.
Yeah. Again?
Yeah, the advert comes twice. Here we go.
Hello?
Hello.
Yeah. When I started listening to your talks, the main things which really hit me like a hammer was doing happens, nothing born, nothing dies, there is no you.
Mm-hmm.
With that as a sort of a prologue, I see a person dying in front of me, and another place, you see a child being born from the womb of a mother.
Yeah.
And I have also undergone that in my life, the birth part of it.
Yeah.
But you say nothing is born.
No.
So when a baby is born, what happens? There is just a transformation of energy.
Uh-huh.
When a baby is born,
Yes.
there is no birth of a child then.
Well, it's what we call it in our society, but no. There's a movement of energy that's happened from one thing to another.
And that movement of energy is labeled as a child.
Yes.
So there is no separate entity as a baby.
No. But it's a mystery. It's a total mystery, actually, what it is. But it's time to end, Elango. Paul's just come home. It's now 10 past 10 or 5 past 10.
Yes.
But lovely to talk with you as always.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, Elango. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
So thanks, guys. Lovely to speak with everybody. This Sunday there will not be talks because I will be in Berlin. You're more than welcome to come and join me in Berlin. Okay, see you next Wednesday. Bye.